The Spinosaurus is a dinosaur that divided the audience of the Jurassic franchise with its debut appearance back in 2001's Jurassic Park 3. On one side, fans were deterred as it killed the iconic Tyrannosaurus Rex, whereas the other half rejoiced with the Spinosaurus's sheer size and power of killing the T-Rex. But 23 years later, it's safe to say that we have all matured and grown up in this time, allowing us to realize that both of these colossal beasts are to be adored and liked in this franchise. However, within those 23 years, the Tyrannosaurus Rex has gone on to feature in nearly every canonical piece of media in the franchise, whereas the Spinosaurus just the once. So that begged the question to fans about the whereabouts of this creature and why it hasn't appeared in any movie since 2001, so let's try and find out why. In 2001's Jurassic Park 3, the Spinosaurus was set out to be the new big bad dinosaur of the franchise, so much so that the original Rex skeleton on the face of the logo was instead replaced with the Spinosaurus. Joe Johnston, the director of Jurassic Park 3, wanted to show off this specimen in a greater light and proved that by having it kill off the Tyrannosaurus Rex within the first half of the film. Although the Rex was a young adult at the time, and no it wasn't Junior from the Lost World, it still didn't take away from the fact that this new beast of a dinosaur was now the largest carnivore of the franchise. But it wasn't just the action of the Spinosaurus that captivated the hearts of the fans. The design of this creature goes down as one of, if not the best dinosaur design of the franchise. Even with its paleo-accurate design being changed like every 2 years now, Jurassic Park's Spinosaurus design still goes down as the most iconic and loved design by both the paleo and movie fans alike. So this just adds even more to the question, why hasn't it been seen since the first movie? Just a little reminder that we're doing a free giveaway if we manage to hit 250,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you want more Jurassic content and wish to stay in the loop with the news of the franchise, then why not subscribe to the channel for exactly that? With a new season of Chaos Theory, Jurassic World Rebirth the movie, and 2 major video games of Jurassic World Evolution 3 and Jurassic Park Survival all coming out within the space of the next year, you're really going to want to stick around for a while. But for now, let's continue to blab on about where the Spinosaurus is and why it hasn't appeared since Jurassic Park 3. Throughout the troubled production of Jurassic Park 3, there were very minimal constants that remained, but the sheer aggression and agitated mindset of the Spinosaurus was something that was kept all the way to the end. Some ask why the Spinosaurus kept tracking down the humans and why it didn't stop trying to attack them. Well, in the movie you can very slightly see a visible scar on the dinosaur for both its animatronic and CGI model. This is where the Spinosaurus was hit by the plane earlier in the movie, proving that it simply held a grudge against the humans this whole time. At first, that sounds like a very silly concept. However, once external canonical marketing media released for the later Jurassic World movies, we discovered that this dinosaur was tortured by humans practically all of its life before being set free on Isla Sorna. So understandably, it treats us as threats. But this showed how dangerous this dinosaur truly was and allowed us to understand its characteristics going forward. How awful would it have been if it got to the mainland, or even just escaping a paddock in an operating park? This dinosaur was not registered on InGen's list anywhere, as Dr. Wu and some undercover biosyn workers, unbeknownst to Wu, worked on this amalgamation of a dinosaur. So not only has it had the troubled time trying to get into the future movies of this franchise, but it also had a troubled life too. As 14 years went on, no movie released for the franchise until 2015 came about with Jurassic World. As we know, we do not get to see the Spinosaurus in that movie. Its only appearance was a skeleton on Main Street, one that didn't even resemble the living creature of the franchise. This was merely used as a payback from the Rex as it ran through the skeleton in a big, and I quote, "fuck you" moment in the movie. However, outside of the movie, a dinosaur protection group image proved that the Spinosaurus was supposedly on Isla Nublar on or before Jurassic World. Unfortunately, there was no follow-up to this, so we're unknown if it were to have been the same one or a new specimen. But that was its connection in Jurassic World. As for the later movies, well, this is where it gets a whole lot more interesting. In 2018, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom rolls around and unfortunately became one of the least liked movies despite some really fun scenes involved. For me, my initial dislike was that a lot was shown in the trailers that left not much to the imagination for the final movie. But even after the movie released, it became even more heavily disliked after the news broke that the Spinosaurus almost made it into the final cut. Sometime in late 2018, some early storyboards of the movie arose online that covered the volcanic eruption scene, but with one major change. In these storyboards, the Spinosaurus was set to return and even end up fighting Rexy while the explosion was going on in the background. The Spinosaurus would have met his fate after some debris from the volcano came plummeting through its body, killing him instantly. However, as we know, this would then be replaced with the Carnosaurus vs Sinoceratops battle instead. I know, much more underwhelming. However, the directors gave a good reasoning behind their decision here, as they confirmed that with the eruption going on, the pace of the scene, and the pyroclastic flow, it just felt like the scene was way too cluttered for a Spinosaurus vs Tyrannosaurus rematch. And I completely agree. As much as I would have loved to have seen this scene in all of its glory, I can't help but think about how messy it would have been in the moment given what we saw in the final production of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It is also worth noting that the Spinosaurus in the storyboards looked different from the one in Jurassic Park 3, the one on Main Street, and even the one on Dr. Wu's computer seen in Camp Cretaceous, potentially meaning that this would have been a second Spinosaurus that we speculated about that lived in Jurassic World. However, storyboards aren't much to go by anyways, so at the very least, they tried to bring this dinosaur back for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So what happened next? Well, the Spinosaurus was finally reintroduced to the franchise on screen in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 4. Unfortunately, the worst season of them all, this dinosaur was shown more as a mockery as it was captured and mind-controlled very easily in the show, ruining the credibility it gained from Jurassic Park 3. Season 5 slightly redeemed the creature, but ultimately it lost the battle to two Tyrannosaurus Rexes on Manticore Island, where it then ran into the jungle, never to be seen again. And this was the last canonical on-screen appearance from the dinosaur. But what about Dominion? Well, in Jurassic World Dominion, we're introduced to the new big bad dinosaur of the franchise, the Giganotosaurus. If you even want to call it the big bad. It only really killed a locust during its 5-minute screen time in the movie. Anyways, this dinosaur would ultimately take the limelight over both the Spinosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex in the movie. But did you know that they also intended to have the Spinosaurus in Dominion from the very beginning? The Jurassic World trilogy was first thought of by Colin Trevorrow back in the early 2010s, and kept true to his imagination as much as he could. It is reported that the Spinosaurus was a dinosaur he wanted to see return, and in the very early ideas of Jurassic World Dominion, the Spinosaurus was planned to take part in the final battle of the movie. Now, these were unfortunately only ideas, and thus we haven't got anything to show like storyboards, but they really came with the idea that would have made a lot of Jurassic fans very happy: the return of the Spinosaurus. It is unclear as to why the Spinosaurus was removed from the initial idea of it appearing in the final battle, but some claim it's because there was only meant to be one Spinosaurus in the franchise, and Colin Trevorrow thought that it would not have survived the events of Camp Cretaceous, which we now know isn't true. But my little headcanon is that it would have just been far too hard to explain how Dodson went to Manticore Island and transferred the dinosaurs from there to the Dolomites in Italy. After all, Lewis Dodson was well aware of this island's existence and technology. He is even using Manticore's technology as we see the dinosaurs being mind-controlled during a fire at the forest in Dominion. But now, with the explanation of Manticore Island in Chaos Theory, I think it's very reasonable to assume that someone took the Spinosaurus somewhere. But where? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you thought that the story of the dinosaur being removed from canonical media was over? Not quite. Dino Tracker was the canonical viral marketing website that's linked to Jurassic World Dominion. Many people dedicated much of their lives in the early 2020s to this website to make sure everything is canonically correct and accurate. And one thing that they really tried to get going within the website is the Spinosaurus. Dino Tracker is such a fun website to explore and uncover, as we are put into the perspective of the people living within this universe. When the website first initially released, I decided to play around with the URLs that are embedded within the website, and I discovered there was one that had the Spinosaurus listed to be on Dino Tracker. Ever since then, many fans speculated that it would appear on the website after Jurassic World Dominion would release, and that we will eventually be getting to see it soon. Sadly, this did not happen. Instead, it was later revealed that this dinosaur was intended to appear on a highway or a forest in mainland America. That's right. Even on Dino Tracker, they tried to get the Spinosaurus back in the franchise, but they decided to cut it. But thankfully, at least we have an image of it to inspect and imagine of what it could have been. So, after explaining all of those important details, why hasn't the Spinosaurus appeared since Jurassic Park 3? Well, it wasn't for the lack of trying. Ultimately, the Spinosaurus has always been at the back of the head for the creators of the movies, but sadly, they just couldn't find a natural way to reintroduce this dinosaur into the franchise. After all, the stories of the franchise is what makes it. They come first. If the dinosaur does not fit the story, then they shouldn't just add it for the sake of it, especially when it's a dinosaur as beloved as the Spinosaurus. Whilst Jurassic Park 3 may not have been the most highly received movie of the franchise, the one thing that they certainly got right was the Spinosaurus. So I can only presume that they are saving this dinosaur to do it the right justice, to make sure that it is completely right. The last thing we need is another Camp Cretaceous Season 4 incident with this creature. So to answer the question, it's been left on the cutting room floor for ages, but is ready to go when called upon. We just need to be patient. With Jurassic World Rebirth coming soon, we have yet another opportunity for this dinosaur's involvement in the franchise once again. Jurassic World Rebirth is set to release worldwide on July 2nd, 2025. The Spinosaurus is rumoured to be appearing in that movie, but with a slightly different design than to the one we saw in Jurassic Park 3. However, since these are just rumours, make sure you're taking it all with a pinch of salt. Either way, if the Spinosaurus doesn't end up appearing in the movie, I just know that there's going to be some wacky backstory as to how it was once again left out. If we don't get the Spinosaurus, then it will be 2028 when the next movie after Rebirth drops. Unless maybe Universal wants to do us a favour and maybe drop a live action show set in the year 2000 on Isla Sorna in the meantime. That would be pretty great, wouldn't it? Anyways, let's learn what you guys think. Head on down to the comments and let me know why you think the Spinosaurus hasn't appeared since Jurassic Park 3 and if you're excited for it to be in Rebirth. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here, but most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.